We are given with 5x minus 2y minus 16 is equal to 0. And this is in the form of ax plus by plus c equal to 0. And now we are asked to determine the equation of a line in the form of this using vectors. So in one of the videos in this playlist, we're able to identify this form starting with that. So we're just going to reverse the process and need to be guided with the important steps. So I would like you to really review the videos before this so that you will be guided on these processes. Now if we are given ready with ax plus by plus c, of course this is our a, this is our b, and this is our c. So we can now determine our a and b coefficients. Just for a and b itself alone, we don't need the c in the meantime, because our a and b are important in identifying the vectors. Now our a is 5 and our b is, of course, don't forget the negative sign or the operation before 2y becomes its sign, so you have minus 2. In short, this is our a and b coefficients. And by the way, this 2 is actually a component of your normal vector. Not the vector v, but the normal vector itself. So once we know that, so basically our normal vector is just 5 and negative 2. But since we are asked about L plus your direction vector v, so we need to identify your direction vector v, okay? But this direction vector v and normal vector has a certain relationship. We know that if we have a normal vector, direction vector v with components v sub 1 and v sub 2, our normal vector is actually negative of v sub 2 and then your v sub 1. So in determining your vector v, so we simply need to look at the relationship of this. Meaning, your negative v sub 2 is 5 as given here, and then your v sub 1 is negative 2. So for this, you will just simply need your v sub 1, which is negative 2, and your v sub 2, which could be identified as negative 5. In short, the direction vector of the line with equation 5x minus 2y minus 16 equal to 0 is negative 2 and negative 5. So we are done with our vector v. So we just need to identify a certain point P on our line. To determine that, let's use this and let's talk about the intercepts. These intercepts are, of course, contained in the same line. They could be used as either P. Any of the intercepts could be used as P. So for our equation, 5x minus 2y minus 16 is equal to 0. If I'm correct, that's the equation. Alright, that's correct. So if for our y-intercept, or let's say x-intercept first, sorry, for our x-intercept, let y be equal to 0. So you have 5x minus 2 times 0 minus 16 equal to 0. 5x minus 16 equal to 0. 5x is equal to positive 16. Your x is 16 fifths. Okay? So our x-intercept is at 16 fifths and then 0. For our y-intercept, let x be equal to 0. So 5 times 0 minus 2y minus 16 equal to 0. That's negative 2y minus 16 equal to 0. Minus 2y is positive 16. So y is negative 8. So the y-intercept is at 0 and negative 8. Please use the correct notations. So these are the 2 points on the line. If we're going to illustrate that, and let's illustrate that in our Cartesian plane, then we could see further some relationships later on. So considering that each grid is 1, so you have 16 fifths is actually 3 something, 3.2 if I'm correct. So we have 1, 2, 3, so 0.2 somewhere here. Let's just have that 16 fifths and 0. And for your y-intercept is 0 and negative 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 0 and negative 8. And if we are to draw a line connecting them, I hope that I could connect them in just one trial. No, I can't. So again, let's do it again. Hopefully that I still let's just assume that the third one is are accurate. And of course, just by drawing a what do you call this one, a arrowhead, this is again 5x minus 2y minus 16 is equal to 0. That is on our given, and we can see that it's correct, because if we're going to take the slope of this, it's actually positive, so it increases, or the direction is going up or right. Now for the form of L, This form now, the final form, for L is equal to P plus your direction vector V. We have our direction vector V already identified here. So you could choose any of those 2 points. And even points in this line, you can use any of them. Okay? So let's just use P. The x-intercept first. You could have actually 16/5 and 0 plus your direction vector -2 and -5. Or if you don't like fraction forms, you can use your y-intercept 0, -8 plus the same same direction vector. So both of this corresponds to the equation of this line in the form L is equal to P plus your vector V. Okay, so basically it looks like that. Okay, this is the process using that form. So the process is reversed when we talk about starting with a vector and going towards this, because the given now is in this form. So we're going to reversing that. Just make sure that you will always remember or be guided with the relationships of the notations and coefficients. Thank you very much for watching.